up, everybody? This is Creative Point of View podcast. My name is Ethan.
Noah.
And Marquis.
And we're here to tell people stories about how we see the world differently. So without further ado,
Facts. Let's get
into it.
The real question is, how is you guys' week in this creative industry field?
You go first, Noah.
It's been busy. As you guys heard from the last episode, I work in a church, and during Christmas time, there's a lot to be done. So I'm very busy.
I feel that.
Also, I'm trying to just hustle and do passion projects on the side, and I got like multiple things I'm trying to do and accomplish, and so life's been busy and just a lot of like personal things too that I'm trying to figure out. But so yeah, I don't know, just busy.
I feel that.
Yeah, same here. I mean, it's December, so Christmas is coming up. I've been doing a lot of writing lately, which is dope. I mean, writing music, writing some just thoughts down. So life's been hitting me crazy, like in a good way. Like nothing super negative, but it's been keeping me busy. Yeah, man. Like work's been good, but yeah. How about you, Marquis?
It's been busy. Real estate's busy. We just launched the Elevate Wedding Films.
Yeah, man.
So
website is looking clean, bro.
I appreciate
Talked to
that,
Nick
bro.
about that the other day.
I appreciate that. So, man, launching a company is sometimes tough.
It's no joke,
It's
bro.
a
Not
lot.
for the
to,
faint
It's
of
no
heart.
joke.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's
Have
a
you?
lot to go
Are you
into
the only?
it.
Have you started your own company or like
In the works.
in the works? All right, yeah. I was about to say. I mean, I have. I know you have. You start multiple, but I can.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
At some
It's
point.
definitely gonna
I'm
happen
just
for
trying
Noah.
to.
Don't.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't
Yeah.
have to be.
I'm young.
You got plenty of time, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to just figure out the details. So.
No, for sure.
When it does happen, it's gonna be fire. I already
Yeah.
know it, bro.
Yep.
It's gonna be crazy.
I mean, the ceiling that you have is so much higher than a lot of people your age. You know, like,
Gee.
yeah.
Man,
Making you
stop
blush.
hyping me up, bro.
But, yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, I just been
Yeah, man.
busy. I mean, unlike you guys both working for a church, you guys get super busy around that Christmas and Easter time. So our busy might look different, but like you said, trying to work on some passion projects. Haven't done a passion project in a while. I know me and you talked about maybe filming
Yeah.
a little short snippet or something.
Yeah. We
so
got to, man.
Yeah, you guys might see some fire come out here
Yeah.
in a couple of months or something like that. But yeah, it's been good. It's been fun.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. I mean, topic for this one by himself is social media.
The man
and that
himself.
comes from Noah.
Yeah.
Myth.
Man,
I feel like it's something that we got to talk about because it's
Man,
so relevant these
it
days.
speaks to every person. You know, like, if you don't have social media, it's not like you're living under a rock, but you're also living under a rock.
My
you
grandma
know?
got social media. Come on now.
I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
my parents don't have social media because they they see how much we are on it, and they're just like, nah, we don't have time for that. But at the same time, I could see my parents getting it whenever, you know, like it almost inevitably, like all of us kids are gonna, you know, go our own route, go our own place. I mean, I live 3 hours from my parents, so it's not that far. We call, we talk all the time. My sister lives way further than I do, but other than that, everyone else lives at home and their life is in, you know, Illinois. So it's like eventually social media is just there is something in it for everybody. I will say that. There is something in it for everybody, whether it's positive or whether it's negative or whether it's just indifferent. There is something about social media that everybody can glean from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Social media is just it's a world of many things when it comes to social media. So many platforms, especially nowadays. Like, what's the platform? VV? No. What's the one that
Vero.
Vero.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
on such a strong Vero kick for a long
Yeah.
time. And I still love it, but I honestly have just been trying to stay off social media.
Is Vero like photography related?
Yeah, so
Well,
like it's a
but
whole
here's
new
the thing, dude. I mean, like we'll throw this up on the screen, but like Vero is an everything platform. Like you got to get on it. We'll talk about that
yeah, we're
later.
dive
But
deep,
like,
but
Okay.
Vero it's a very unique platform. Like you and I talked about it a lot, and I was like, man, like it is so unique because it's like an Instagram,
traditional
Yeah, it's like a
Instagram.
traditional Instagram from what it was like 8, 10 years ago.
OG,
But
IG.
now it's like, man, you can share podcasts, you can share links that like direct link you, like you would on Facebook, which is awesome. You can't do that on Instagram unless you post a story and be like, hey, go check out my story and tap the link in my bio or whatever. But like Facebook, it's got that aspect, but you can also share music on it that like will take you either directly to Spotify.
That's cool.
It's honestly like a really dope platform. A lot of creators got on that kick like really fast, like Peter McKinnon, Maddie, um, honestly just so many that are just like, man, like Vero, and I love it because it's also not algorithm based. Everything is purely chronological. When you post it, that's when you see it.
Okay.
But
That's cool.
It's
I
pretty.
like that.
It's pretty dope. But yeah, Noah, dive us into this social media thing.
Well, I felt like we should talk about it because, like, I feel like creatives these days, like, uh, whether or not we know it, like, social media really affects, like, uh, how we create and, like, it just it has an effect on us, good and bad. And so I kind of just wanted to, like, get into that a little bit, you know?
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I would say like there's always, I mean, it's almost like there's a drastic both sides. It's either positive, like really positive for people, or it's really negative people. You know, you either hear about your great aunt Lucy who's always like causing drama on Facebook.
Karens.
You know, the Karens on
Yeah.
Facebook, or you see, you know, the YouTubers and the influencers on Instagram that are like just living it up in Maldives, whatever. How
Yeah.
how do
Yeah.
you pronounce that?
But also, what I realized and what I've learned over the years, like on both spectrums, like on the creative spectrums that's living the high life, a lot of creatives and content creators do it for show.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. When I first started seeing it, I kind of got jealous. I was like, why is this guy driving a Lambo? How can he afford a Lambo?
right.
Mhm.
But then I realized, and from over the years, you see like, oh, he rented that Lambo for
Yeah,
just for the picture. It's a
yeah.
lifestyle thing, and I mean, not to knock them. Like I don't knock them at all. Like they figured out the algorithm and what they need to do
Right.
to get what they need out of the social media platform.
I think one of the biggest like one of the things that I see that makes me upset whenever it comes to like content creation on social media is like the giveaways. You know, people are like, "Hey, follow like not traditional giveaways where it's like, you know, small town or small business creatives be like, "Hey, like we want to give away this, you know, like a wedding package like for films or, you know, a graphic design like package for a company or a t-shirt giveaway, whatever." I'm talking about like follow these 20 pages and comment your favorite food and you're entered to win $86,000 and a, you know, Cybertruck.
Yeah.
It's like, who does that? Like, is it real? And if it
Right.
is real, like, what is that marketing tactic? It's like there's such a broad spectrum in how people create for social media, and that's why I think it's like, yeah, it can be like kind of in the middle where it's like, all right, I'm staying true to like being creative, but then it's like, do people get lost in trying to create for the algorithm,
Yeah.
or do people actually put their life out there and people really follow it because they enjoy it? You know what I mean? Like social media, it's such a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
But
How has it? So I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
How has social media affected you guys as a creative?
Um, I feel like it's been useful to an extent because, like, um, I have a website, but also um, Instagram, for example, it's like a secondary portfolio that more people I feel like have access to,
Yeah.
and so it's cool in the fact that I feel like I can share my work for people, and people can like directly contact me, and like I can get business through social media, or I can just network and use it to connect with people I look up to or people I want to work with. But then like the flip side of the coin, like the more negative side is like sometimes I can like compare myself to
Yeah.
other people, and sometimes like I might feel like a poser one day, like, oh, I say I'm a graphic designer, photographer, but like, am I though? Like, I
Yeah.
am, but it's like sometimes, you just get caught up in a numbers game, and you see like people you look up to with like way more likes or followers or whatever the case may be, and you're like, dang, like they know what they're doing, and why have I not received that success yet? But I know it's a lie, because a lot of those people I look up to, they're way older than me. Like they're like late 20s, early 30s, or even older,
Yeah.
and now they're just hitting their stride. And so as a 21-year-old, like I have hope and optimism that like, if I just stay consistent, I'll get to a point where I'm getting more traction and more business and stuff. But I think like I just have to remind myself like, your vision, like you know what you like, and just keep doing you.
Stay true to yourself,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
definitely, I can relate.
yeah.
I definitely understand what you're saying. Like sometimes feeling like a poser. It's like, man, like. So I came to the realization after college, whenever I was traveling, touring as a sports photographer, that I was like, man, am I doing this for the content, or am I doing this for like, like, because I love it, like because it like fuels my character and I just enjoy it. And like one of like a kind of a wake up call to me was like I had a lot of followers. I had like thousands of followers, and I would get like quite a few likes on like my sports media photos. And I think it was like around Christmas time or Thanksgiving, and I think I may have like posted like I think it was Thanksgiving. I posted like a thank you or like something like, hey, like thankful for where like God's brought me through this year. And I think I posted like a photo of like myself and like my family, or maybe it was my girlfriend at the time or whatever. And it got probably like 20% the likes that it normally, like my post normally would perform. And I was just like, man, this is a really authentic post, because I'm just like, I'm thankful. I'm not posting this because like I'm trying to get this out or clickbait people to like watch my YouTube videos or anything like that. I was like, man, that was like really discouraging. But then it kind of was like a rude awakening to me. Like, do people actually care about me and like what I'm posting, or like what the content is behind the post, or do they just care about like the name attached to the post, or the the content? Like if someone sees like Bronny James drops 39 points for a Sierra Canyon, are they gonna click on that because it's like
Bronny
it's
James.
exactly, it's like there's the name attached to it, or are they gonna care about the content I'm posting because I worked my butt off to get to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm proud of myself as a content creator, and that was a rude awakening. So it's like impacted how I approach content creating now. Ultimately, like my Instagram ended up getting hacked and I lost it, and so now I don't have that where I'm like, I feel the pressure to post. I got away from the sports industry during COVID. I still love it. I still miss it. Every now and then I'll, collaborate on some projects, or even like what Parker's doing, like with Omaha and, stuff around here, like really inspires me.
Was that a blessing and a curse when your
It really
profile got
was.
hacked?
Yeah, it really was, because like I had the pressure to like be like, oh man, maybe I can like push this and, keep making it a career. And then once it got hacked, I was just like, man, like I lost it. And so now it's like, all right, well, now that I don't have the followers, now that I don't have like those connections through my Instagram, people knowing who I am, well, maybe I can just go back to being me, you know? Like, not that I lost myself in that, but it's like I kind of lost focus on why I was doing all that, you know what I mean?
I feel that.
What about you, Marquis? Like, how's social media impacted your life?
So for me, it's so weird, and I fall into this weird trap mentally about it a lot. So I started off as a landscape photographer. That's how I got into photography. Then I met a homie, Chris Scott. Shout out Chris Scott. That got me into portrait photography.
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
Chris Scott is like.
If you know, you know. The
Chris
GOAT.
got the
He's the
juice,
goat.
bruh.
Yeah, he definitely has the juice. he's retired now.
Yeah.
Hate to say
Sad.
it,
But
he's retired now. But that we'll have him on a podcast eventually, and he can tell his story. But it got to a point to where I was posting those things, uh, but then also that was before Instagram became what Instagram is now.
yeah.
And then it kind of turned into, and this is before I knew anything about marketing. I kind of intertwined personal photos with professional landscape, with professional portraits, and like the grid was all jacked up. You can never recover from a grid being jacked up
Yeah.
unless you go delete everything.
Yeah.
I learned that from a goat, Noah.
How many times have you done that?
I don't recommend doing that much. Like maybe you get a pass, like once
Yeah.
or twice. But I'm trying to cut that habit out. So.
But mine was bad though. Like I was intertwining three different niches, and once I found my niche in filmmaking, it just became I just left my personal profile to be its personal profile. I hardly post any. It's weird because I hardly post any of my work on there.
Yeah.
Like obviously my work gets posted on like my business pages and stuff like that. But with social media being what it is now, I feel like I need to get a little bit more creative on my personal profile, my personal brand.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to work on that.
Well,
and
that
it's
like
more
made
important.
me. Yeah. That topic is really important. It's like, are you marketing yourself as a brand?
Yeah.
Or are you like your name, image, and likeness? Because like that's huge in sports now, and that's huge anywhere. But like, are you marketing yourself as a business, or are you marketing your services as a
And
business?
I think that's important for creatives to, if you have your company, market your company, but I think also you need to market yourself as a brand. I know it's tough. Like for me, I post a lot of personal stuff, which is not the sexiest,
Come on,
content
bro. I mean,
that
you're
I
sexy.
post. You know what I'm saying? Like I might post a reel about my wiener dog. Shout out Winston. To
Yeah.
Shout
a
out
funny
Winston,
funny
bro.
audio
Mhm.
of him running around or something
Yeah.
on my personal page. But I think the trap that I was falling into, what helped me realize was some of the most creative people that like I know and follow, and some of the most influential people in my life as creatives and filmmakers, they don't have a huge Instagram or social media following.
Yeah.
Like some of these people that like I look up to that have been, DPs on huge productions, or I got a mentor. I call him my mentor. He's actually a family friend. He's family pretty much. He's taught me a lot about filmmaking, and he produces Maverick Cities. Like he was on tour with him and produced it, but like he doesn't have 100,000 followers, and like he's one of the most creative and talented people I know. So that kind of helped me,
Yeah.
like when creating. Like, hey, what am I creating for? What am I doing this whole
Yeah.
social media thing
Well,
for?
and like, I mean, the followers don't always. They're not always an accurate representation of like
Talent.
the quality.
Or
Yeah,
crea-
the
or-
talent, the quality
or
of
gifts.
work.
Yeah.
I mean, like as we're wrapping up the year, Spotify and Apple Music just did their replay and their Spotify Wrapped.
Yep.
And so we'll get into this a little bit more, but like one of the artists I listen to heavily, his name is Nick D. He's a rapper. If you've heard the song on TikTok called Pineapple, that's the dude behind that.
Sing it for us.
Oh, man, don't put me on the spot like that. But like he has changed. Like he's writing a book. He has changed the game of writing and producing music. Like honestly,
Interesting.
him and Charlie.
I've
Puth.
never heard of.
Yeah.
Nick
So like
D before.
Charlie
Yeah.
Puth, Connor Price, and Nick D have changed the game for writing and producing music through creating content.
Charlie Puth is
Yeah.
a goat.
Dude, Charlie Puth is one of my favorite artists,
A
not just because
goat.
of like what he produces, but how he does it, man. Like anyone who goes on the Fallon show and just starts like making a song out of cup noises, that's insane to me. That's
Yeah.
so creative.
I need to do my research.
Charlie
I
Puth.
don't
man.
listen to Charlie Puth like that.
Man.
You don't gotta
I can't lie.
don't listen. You
You
don't
don't
gotta
have to
listen to his
listen to
music.
him, but like watching his videos
His
and
pro-
keeping
just watch
up
his
with him.
process. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy.
So,
creative.
but back to what I was saying, like not always do followers replicate and like reflect like the person behind it.
Yeah.
So like he's got, I think he's got like now 180,000 Instagram followers. I followed him since he was at probably 30 to 50, somewhere in there. So I know for sure under 50 thousand. Yeah, 50,000, not 50, but 50,000 Instagram followers. But this year, his Spotify Wrapped, I think he had like 60 million listeners. 60 million.
Yeah.
And like the
That's
year
crazy.
before that, probably, I don't know, maybe he hit a million, I don't know, but like in a year, he hit 60 million Spotify listeners.
And that's the power of like social media and
Yeah.
the content you
Yeah.
can create nowadays to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I have a similar
I'm pull up his TikTok right now.
I have a similar observation with Montel Fish. You guys know
Yeah.
Montel Fish?
Yeah.
He doesn't have that many like social media followers, but on Spotify he has millions of listeners. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
I think whatever your I think that's another thing too is like you might have a huge following on Instagram, but not have a following on TikTok and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, that's what, like, Nick, I'm pulling up his, dude, I would love to have him on the podcast because he's so creative. He's got a podcast that I actually have listened to every episode, some even multiple times. He's just that creative. Bro, I was wrong. 160 million. 160 million streams. That's
Yeah.
insane. 12.8 million listeners. That's insane numbers for a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
To only have 180,000 Instagram followers, and his TikTok, like he's got so many hits that he's written on TikTok, and just marketed himself on it,
Yeah.
and he just gets hits. People reshare it. He's got 1.6 million followers and 26 million likes.
That's
crazy
goes-
numbers.
Yeah, that just goes to let the audience know that followers don't determine how good you are
Yeah.
or your gifts or how talented you are.
The quality of the content, and honestly, like the integrity. Like, I really love that word because it's not just like it doesn't always mean like telling the truth or being the right person. Like, yeah. that's kind of a way to like talk about integrity, but like really genuine, authentic truth. Like
Yeah,
that's like
100%.
conserving and like being preserving. What am I trying to say? Preserving the integrity of creating content
Yeah.
should be an art. Like making it something that you actually put your heart, soul, and care into, not just be like, all right, I'm creating it so that way, I'm not trying to write the next hit. A lot of his songs did blow up, but not probably because he was trying to write a hit. He's like, I just had this beat and I'm just going to rap over
Yeah.
it. And it's like, all right, that's dope. And it's going to hit the right audience whenever it needs to.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's there's both sides of social media. There are the artists that have like little to no followers, and then there are artists that like they hit gold with
Yeah.
their niche.
Do you think?
Um,
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But
you're good.
something you said earlier about like some of the people that inspire you a lot, they might not have a crazy following, but like I think about quality over quantity,
Yeah.
and it's like you can think of that in the work you're sharing sense, or in even the people you're attracting sense. Like I would rather have a smaller following of people who have the same style taste as me that really mess with what I'm doing
Yeah.
than just a bunch of followers who they don't vibe with what I do, like,
Yeah.
and can't connect with it or understand it on the level that I do.
Yeah.
So that's something I thought would be like useful to share,
Yeah.
but also just like I just feel like putting, if someone doesn't have a lot of followers, like whatever, it don't matter. Because think about people back in the day before social media that were still filmmaking,
Yeah.
that were still taking pictures, and
Yeah.
like let's like look at like the 80s or the 90s, like no social media, but Nike was still able to really successfully market themselves, and they're able to market the Jordans when the Jordans were
Yeah.
coming out. And then like think about like 80s filmmakers like Steven Spielberg, he didn't have social media, but
Was
the
he
work
an
still
80s
speaks for itself.
Filmmaker?
Yeah.
Did he really make all the way back? I mean, I know '90s for sure.
Like
Yeah.
He's been around a while.
Indiana
Around.
Jones, E.T.,
Yeah,
The
that's true,
Goonies.
man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He's one of the goats, man.
Yeah, he is
for sure.
definitely. Yeah.
I
Crazy
like what
talented.
you said, where it's like, man, what they used back then, they utilized to the full max. And so a lot of that was even like TV commercials, billboards. I recently had someone like send, it wasn't even to me, it was to someone else on staff. And they're just like, hey, like my work got featured on a billboard. And I was like, man, people still do that. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool, like, but I was like, oh dang, people still do that. I
Right.
wouldn't think twice about that. But like, that's still like that's a tool that people are still using.
Yeah.
So like back then, they were utilizing that to the full max. A lot of it was like word of mouth and how they marketed their product. Like you said, quality over quantity.
Mhm.
But now it's like, it's almost like the line is blurred because you got everything in your face, you know, with so many platforms and so many ways to hit it. So many shares. You put AdSense on Facebook, on YouTube, all different ways to get people to see a product, but not like, I kind of think of like Fashion Nova and Sheen like ads. It's like they're pumping out so many products, but I'm not gonna buy their clothes because I don't mess with it. You know what I mean? But like I might buy something from like a local shop, like honestly what I'm wearing right now from Fontanelle Supply Co. Shout out Fontanelle. Dope creators, would love to have them on pod. Because like I mess with their quality of product, but also like it's not something where they're just creating it to try and make revenue out of it. Like it's something they actually care about. Like
Yeah.
creating it.
Yeah, that's huge because like in today's sense of social media, like I think it has turned into more of a quantity over quality. I feel like a lot of people run into, okay, I need to find a way to post every day. It doesn't matter
Right.
the angle I'm holding my phone, or it doesn't matter, you know, the lighting situation. Like I run into that
Right.
with so much. Because it's crazy. I create more content for other people to post on social media than I create for myself. So when I'm creating this content, like me being a filmmaker, I'm very particular on things
Yeah.
and how it looks, and it looks good. But then you have other people that are social media influencers that preach other things as far as like, hey, you can hop on your story and use your front camera, your iPhone, and do the same thing you do instead of hiring, you know,
Yeah.
hiring a
I
filmmaker.
think there's
to do
I
it.
think there's a very fine line between both ways, because a lot of times people, like, we don't get lost in the moment anymore. Like we always have these on us, so
Yeah.
we're always gonna like snap a pic, take a Snapchat, post to Instagram, whatever. So like a lot of times we're not thinking in the moment, but rather thinking of what the moment can do for us. But like there's both sides to that, because Chris Ramsey, I don't know if you follow him on YouTube, he's a magician, but he's also a sick filmmaker. He's so good. But like his style is like really unique, and his biggest YouTube reels have been from him just be like, all right, I'm just gonna, this is a liquid death can. Like
Yeah.
he would like do something like that, and it's just like, whether it's a toy or a prop or whatever, and it's on his phone,
Yeah.
get into CapCut, cut it down, throw a LUT over it, whatever, and post it. And it's like, that took him less than a minute, and that is still quality content.
Yeah,
I think it all
100%.
depends on like how you approach. Like if I'm just posting to post, like, and thinking like, oh, I just got to keep my followers engaged.
that's-
I got to
and-
feed them, you know. Like,
And that's
you're-
the big thing that social media has turned into, because people have preached, you gotta post in order to grow your social media. You gotta
Yeah.
post, you gotta post, you gotta post, you gotta post, you gotta post,
Yeah.
and then it turns into not good quality stuff.
Yeah.
Or like you said,
You get burnt out,
the
man.
meaning behind it.
Yeah.
There's no meaning behind the content anymore.
You
because
lose
just post it.
why you wanted to do it in the
Exactly.
first place, because now all you're thinking about is how can I stay relevant?
Yeah.
Yep. How can I make sure my face is in front of people
Yeah.
on a daily? And working in the real estate industry, I get it. I get that agents want to have their face out there.
Yeah.
But when you look at the success rate between the agents that, you know, they post meaningful content. They think about it. They plan it out. They're not just, hey, let me hop on here today.
Be strategic.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
strategy behind
Yeah.
it. They have a lot higher success rate when it comes to their social media profiles, but
I
I
bet a
don't think they all
lot
see
has to
that.
do with like relationability. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm gonna use it.
I
Like
get
how
that,
you
yeah.
like how
Sounds
you
legit.
get to have a relationship with your following.
Yeah.
You know, because like
Mhm.
I mean, whenever I had like a lot of followers on my old Instagram account, it was just like I would get celebrities following me or like asking for a photo and like even like Bronny James and Zaire Wade, who
Mhm.
like their dads were some of the best basketball players ever, like on the planet, and I would like be homies with them. But now it's like, oh, like it was only for what I could provide them than the
Only for the
relationship.
picture. Yeah.
But then there are others. There's another side of the coin where it's like some guys from Arkansas where I went to school. Like I built a relationship with them, and now one of them is the top college player in basketball, and he still is like, hey, yeah, like we're still cool. Like we're
Relationships
not
are
tight,
everything.
but
Who's
like
that?
Nick Smith.
Nick Smith.
Yeah,
He's
like we're
he's hooping.
Yeah.
bro. He's a
He's a
baller.
lead.
Baller.
Yeah, he's
He's
a,
going first round lottery probably, right?
yeah, they have him projected at number 3, I think. But crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like all in how you build a relationship with how you approach creating content, because our relationship was built around the same thing, like what I could produce for them. Because not just random high schoolers are gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be chill with the college dude who,
Yeah. No.
but
Right.
like we were chill because of a common interest, what I could provide for them. But the relationship was different because that was something that was at the forefront of both of our like interest.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I think building relationships with who you create content for or with,
yeah,
is huge. Especially when it comes to social media, because the content turns into something different and more meaningful to you as a creative when you're creating with someone you have built a bond with in a relationship with
Mhm.
over the past years of working with them. It
Right.
becomes you start to cherish that content a little bit more
honestly,
too,
yeah.
as a content creator.
Yep.
So, what do you think? Like now, knowing that like there's positive, there's negative, there's goods, there's bad, there's highs, there's lows, all around for anything being creative and creating content on social media. How do you think we should navigate that? Like for me, I learned I have to be intentional with how I approach creating content before I think about what I'm creating. Like, am I creating this for me? Am I creating this for a brand? Am I creating this for consumer, or am I creating this for an audience? It's not just like, all right, because that would very like it would change how I create that. Because I wouldn't create something for a brand or like a car dealership or a studio that they have a very specific vision in mind, and it might not be what I would envision, but it's still, you have to make sure that the quality and the
Yeah.
integrity of being creative stays true to itself.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good point, and like um something to like think about too is like I feel like creatives exist to help other people
Yeah.
a lot, and like yes, you can use it to help yourself, but like I feel like the term creative is specifically like you help people using your services to help bring their vision to life too. Um, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I like that because like as a creative, uh, like all my businesses are built around a service that I provide to a client.
Mhm.
I think sometimes it's hard as a creative to get out of that mindset. Therefore, a lot of my time don't get put into passion projects, which I wish they did.
Mhm.
But as a creative in the field I'm a creative in, it's very high demanding. So
Yeah.
therefore, it's like very hard to find time for passion projects, which hopefully that changes in
Yeah, we got to,
2023.
man.
But yeah, I totally agree. As being a creative, I feel like that's you providing a service and helping bring people visions to life, which
Yeah.
that was one of the biggest reasons why I got I got into doing what I wanted to do is because, and I mean Noah can attest to this. That's why my first business I named Vivid Vision because I wanted to bring clients' visions to life, whatever that was.
Yeah.
No matter if I was shooting a dentist's office, shooting a house, shooting a wedding, shooting a commercial. I just want to bring their vision to life. I want to bring what they had in their head that they couldn't bring to life themselves, and kind of just take their ideas and my ideas and kind of just make a flower,
Yeah.
bloom a flower,
So
to speak.
kind of getting back on track to the original question, because I took us off track.
No, you're good.
Like Marquis, how would you say, like, how are you like navigating social media now?
Right now, uh, right now, my social media, as far as from a business standpoint, is very just straightforward. Just on my business profile, it's strictly business. On my personal profile, like I haven't built a brand around my name yet, which that's something that I want to do in 2023. So that'd be my next step in my approach in social media is building a brand around my name and what I do in all the facets. Cause
That's good that you're like thinking about how can I organize and separate this from this.
yeah, cause I'm like, yes, I love posting my personal stuff. I shoot a lot of film on personal. All my film photography is pretty much personal stuff.
Yeah.
And I love to show the world because it's definitely a vibe shooting on film.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of want to create a brand around my name by showing my personal life, but also showing the different things I do in the different facets of all my different businesses. So like, so for example, for real estate, I might post some reels about real estate on my personal page. I might post some stuff about weddings on my personal page, but understand that like my brand is my brand. Even though I do all those things, I still want to find a way to narrow it down. So that'd be how I approach it. It's still gonna be. I think my approach will still be laid back like it is now. Like it's not gonna be anything where I'm like, oh, I gotta post today, or let me schedule a post to post on my personal page. It's gonna be simple and laid back. Like if I get caught in the moment, like I'm gonna post the moments. If I'm at fireworks, I might post a reel about fireworks or a story about fireworks. It's not gonna be anything too crazy. I don't think I'm gonna get into like how the grid flows or anything like that. I think it's just gonna be
That's a
super laid
big
back.
problem that I run into. It's like it's not just like that I'm thinking of the audience, because really like I'm not, but it's like I get such OCD. It's like, man, like I want this to look like very niche and like very clean.
It's
So
the creative in you.
It is, like I'll shoot everything, even if it's a phone camera. I'll shoot it in RAW. Now that they have like the DNG format on an app, like on an iPhone, I'll shoot it in RAW. Edit it, throw a preset, throw an edit on it, and then make sure that it's cropped to 4:5 if I'm posting it, cropped to 16:9 if I'm, and it like.
But do you have your brand? But you have a brand already though for yourself, kind of started.
Yeah. So like I try and like kind of market myself more as a brand, and it's like it's kind of been more successful than trying to market my services, because like a dude that we'll actually have on the podcast really soon, I'll leave his name out of it, but like he and I do a lot of like writing together, and he like we hang out, we get lunch, we talk about like different creative stuff because he's been involved with the church with production and music and design, all stuff like that. So we'll like get together and chat about that. But like he knew like what I do, and he also knew that I was good at it. So he's like, hey, like I need some family photos done. Would you mind doing my family photos? And it was like, yeah. They kind of had a like a vision on how they wanted. It was like a really intimate in-home shoot. Was able to bring that to life for them, and they knew like I was able to execute it for them, not so much as like, oh, he's a family photographer and that's like my entire personality, because like that's what I try and get away from too, is because not that this is a bad thing, but so many people will make their personality 100% like, or their social media 100% reflect their personality.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I think I actually said that backwards. That their personality reflects what their social media is.
Yeah.
Like, I've met people who are like real estate agents, life insurance brokers, photographers, filmmakers, graphic design, anything, like even architects. And it's just like, like all their content points to their business, which is great. But then it's like, all right, like, what's the real you like?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I get caught up in that. It's just like, I wouldn't know what to talk to you
Yeah.
if we ever did get lunch, man.
You know, it's interesting when you end up running into someone that you know from social media, but you've never met them in person,
Yeah.
and you see the real life them,
Mhm.
and you're just like, huh.
Sometimes
You
it's-
don't
That's a
really
little
reflect what I saw
That's
on
a little
Instagram,
different.
but
Yeah.
And that's
and
that's-
people probably think that about me.
Yeah.
You know, like if I meet someone for the first time, like
nah, you're exactly how you portray yourself on social media.
well,
bro.
no, like actually, I would argue different though. Like I feel like people look at my maybe like the stuff I post and they
Yeah.
think, wow, like he's really like put together, very maybe like
Well, you know,
I
that's
don't
not
know,
true.
like serious or whatever, but really
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
kind of a goofy person.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
you know,
yeah.
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 Like
And-
my style, like how I dress might also kind of coincide with
Mhm.
the stuff I like to post and share and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
because it all like it's just my style, right?
Mhm.
But then like personality wise, like I'm just kind of different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I've never I never just posted one thing on my social media.
Mhm.
Like it hasn't been just straight filmmaking or it hasn't been just straight I don't think I ever posted anything real estate related on my
Yeah.
personal page. And it's not strictly, film photography. Like it's a facet of just my life and everything. And that's one of my goals. Like if I do grow a following, I want to stick to that.
Yeah.
Like I just want it to be
Of who you are and
who I
authenticity.
am. Yeah. And like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I post stuff on social media that people can project my real life personality from my social
Yeah.
media, but they get what they get.
I think that's the best way to go about it, like just being authentic, not trying to put on a facade, but
Mhm.
rather
Yeah.
just be like, hey, like this is who I am, this is what I'm passionate about, because like even though my brand, like as a filmmaker, is is to be a filmmaker and to try and like make that. I mean, it is my full-time job, but make it like who I am. I also like I'm an athlete, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a musician, like I love books, I love all these things, and so it's like I wouldn't ever want to be like if someone saw that I posted like all my feed was filmmaking and then I posted a picture of like me playing volleyball or something like that, they'd be like, "Oh,
That's out of his
that's
character.
weird." And that's not him. It's just like, nah, that 100%
Says
is me.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right.
100% agree.
Dang.
well, on that note, man, this has been good. This was a good episode. I think we should wrap up with something that inspired us from this week. So, Noah, what you got?
Ooh, something that inspired me. Well, dang, you wanna, Marky? Do you know? Let me go last.
That's cool. That's cool. I think I do got one. We just finished our website for
Yeah.
our wedding filmmaking company, Elevate Wedding Films. Yeah, so that's something that inspired me. It kind of got me back into the mood because like now it's like, all right, we got to figure out Instagram and we got to try to create posts. Me and my business partner Nick, a great friend of mine, we're both very good filmmakers. I like to say, but we do have a kind of a different style, which makes us work really well. It's not too off, but I think us creating the content together has been very like rewarding
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't like sat down and like kind of created content for. I haven't created content for a company in a while, so like the content's a little bit different than creating for like a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's been very fulfilling to kind of sit down and like look back at old films and go through films that we're still editing and kind of pull snippets and stills and like, dang, that was a
Yeah,
good
the
shot at
website is
sunset.
looking dope, dude. I'm excited to see what all you guys do with it.
I appreciate that. That's what inspired me this week. It kind of it switches up things for me because you kind of get in a mode of doing the same thing every
Yeah.
day, weekly. You're in the same field, doing it. That kind of helped me
Yeah.
switch it because right now it's not wedding season, so
Yeah.
it's cold here in Iowa, uh, and not a lot of people have weddings in December, January, or February. So like
Uh-huh.
right now, it's kind of just creating that content and getting out of my mundane routines. So yeah.
Well, mine is a person sitting at this table. Noah Johnson, man.
Oh
Let's
my.
go.
Man,
What did I do to
The
deserve this?
photos,
Let's go.
the photos you posted, it was either this last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, of the merch you dropped, the fire, the fire tees. I'm a little hurt that I wasn't included on the first drop.
It's all right.
I'm a little hurt.
We're ordering more.
I
right
know, but
As we speak.
not only like the design is dope, like you put a lot of thought and effort into the design, who you're printing it through, how it's gonna look, how it's gonna feel. I think that's awesome. You care a lot about your work, and also like you put yourself out there by asking some influencers if they would rock with you, and I mean they said yes, like which
Yeah,
is
that's big.
super dope, man. Like that takes a lot to put your work in someone else's hands and be like, hey, I hope you like this as much as I like it, and they said yes. So I think that's really dope.
And hopefully they wear it. You know.
Yeah.
I really don't know if they'll wear it or not. I'm just
They're
gonna send
gonna-
it,
bro.
and
I think they will.
They're gonna rock with it.
If you haven't already saw this merch,
Yeah.
you should definitely go to his Instagram page and drop it off. This is
Yep.
it's crazy for me because I see Noah as a brother to me,
Yeah.
and I know he's been talking about this for years.
I'm still working on it. I still have to. I'm still
Okay, I'm
working
still working
on
on
like
it.
the brand itself.
Yeah,
There's a lot that I still need to figure out, and also.
I mean,
like,
you design these shirts. Maybe we'll have them for sale soon.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
not. We'll
Yeah.
see.
and he
Limited drop.
and he designed the logo. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Brought the vision to life for sure.
it's crazy, especially the past couple of years you've been talking about this and
Yeah.
been dreaming it. Now it's starting to come to fruition. So I'm
Yeah.
excited too. That's pretty
Yeah.
dope. What about?
What you got, bro?
Well, I would just say I'm inspired by just the people I surround myself with, like on a daily. I feel like whether it's been over the past like 3 or 4 years of just me being in this creative space and all the people I've met and all the connections I've made, like I feel like just seeing what my friends are up to, what so and so's up to, what projects is everybody working on. It's inspiring to me to see everyone like pursuing like their dreams, and then like even like new recent connections I've made have been like really cool. And like I think like 2 weeks ago, like I stopped by Precious, which is
Heck yeah, bro.
it's like a shared workspace over in the East Village in Des Moines, and a lot of creatives work out of there. And so, like, just networking, like, just meeting creatives is just really inspiring because, like, everyone has something unique about them, something different about them, and just like, I love seeing those differences and like being like, oh, how can I take some inspo from that, and how can I apply that to like what I do? So
That's dope,
Des
man.
Moines
Yeah.
is full of dope
Des Moines
creatives.
underrated.
I was
Yeah.
about to
So
say some
underrated.
hidden gems in Des Moines, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, the people we already have listed, like, to get on. We're not
Yeah.
gonna drop names yet, but like,
Yeah.
the people we have on our radar to get on this podcast, it's gonna be the stories we're gonna share is gonna be awesome, like
Yeah.
for sure.
It's like I feel like out of all 50 states in the United States of America, Iowa, just like no one knows. People just be sleeping on Iowa,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
and
agree.
like, I feel like it's a matter of time before like something comes out of Iowa that really gets people's attention, and
Yeah.
if that's like someone that we're aware of or someone we're not aware of. Like, there's a lot of creatives, and we've talked about this, who are working 9-to-5 jobs right now that haven't quit that job yet because they're afraid to.
Yeah.
But it's like once they take
they
that
take the
risk,
leap, yeah.
then they have a chance at doing something
Yeah.
awesome.
And
So.
we've all been in those same shoes as those creatives that we work 9 to 5s while creating, and we just had to take a leap into our
Yeah.
freelancing world. So
And
yeah.
like,
More stories to come, man. More
Hey.
stories to come from that.
like stuff like just things I've seen with like the music scene in Des Moines recently. Uh, I've talked to a lot of people about like the skate park. How I think that's gonna bring
Yeah.
a lot of like
Yeah, definitely.
exciting things, and music fests are happening. Like there's so much going on.
There's a lot going on in Des Moines. I love
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
never thought
Catch the
I'd
vibe,
be here.
catch the wave.
Yeah.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late. Yeah,
Honestly.
that's true. Yeah.
Well, this is a good episode. All right, that's it from us. Peace out. This has been the
Yeah.
Creative Point of View podcast. We'll see you in the next one.